By the time it was over, I was done at FAU, and my life had fallen apart in South Florida. So I made the most reasonable decision to move back home to Daytona Beach. Now, I settled for an amount that's not life-changing, but it definitely could have set me up. Because, again, we're talking about Daytona Beach. It took almost 2 years from the day until my lawyers had a check in hand. Now, I had them overnight it to my parents' house because at the time I was staying with a friend who I knew would never ask me to stop drinking. I was staying in his living room on a lawn chair. I remember the check came in on a Saturday, and when I knew it was on its way, I made more permanent living arrangements. A friend of mine that I was actually working for knew someone who had a vacant apartment above their store in downtown Daytona. I insisted when it came in for my parents to drive the 30 minutes to bring it to me. And again, Saturday, no banks are open. I'm not going to be able to cash this check, but I was still like, I need this check. This is almost $30,000. Like, I need this money. So they brought it to me. I took a city bus to an Amscot, and I slammed the check on the counter. Can I have my money, please? They laughed at me because it's not a bank. It's a check cashing store. And I tried to give them a check for almost $30,000. What they ended up giving me was $3,000 in cash, 21 money orders for $1,000 each. It's Monopoly. It's not real. It's Monopoly money. And then they took their cut, which was $2,000. Yeah. And I said, deal. Let's go. I need this. I had money to spend now, though, so instead of taking the city bus home, I called a yellow cab. Yeah, balling out of control. They sent me a driver named Dane. Now, I don't know if you guys have ever seen Game of Thrones. Dane looked like Giant's Bane. Real big dude, huge red beard, big red hair. Well, he looked like Giant's Bane ate Giant's Bane because he was super duper fat, but he was cool. I had him take me to the only place I knew to go with all this money in a new apartment, Walmart. I spent almost $2,000 on TVs, gaming systems, different things for the house. Yeah. I asked Dane how much he made on a good day. $300. So boom, I pulled it out right then and there. $300 to be my bodyguard / driver for the day. We partied together that whole night. By Monday, the friend that I was working for convinced me to take the money orders to a real bank and deposit them. I remember being in a little bit of a panic because they said it would take 2 to 3 days to process. And obviously, I was already out of all that cash. By Thursday, though, I had my money. I would start the night by calling Dane every time. And he always agreed to be my driver for the evening / bodyguard for his $300 fee. I always would spend the first hour running errands, like getting booze and drugs and just making sure everything was ready to go for the night. And then I would beg Dane to take me to Lollipops, which was the best strip club in Daytona. It was the best. He always talked me into going to this place called Biggins. Yep. No G on the end. Biggins. Biggins. He said, we should go to Biggins because Lollipops, the girls are stuck up. And at Biggins, they're sweeter. Yeah. Every time I'd go, I would change $200 in ones every time and just throw it in the air. I've arrived. I would pay for 3 to 5 dances with the girls that I liked. And then when we'd go in the back room, I would just ask them about their lives and what their goals were. Yeah. They never actually danced. A few days into this bender, I drunkenly quit that job with my friend. I called Dane. We went on another shopping spree, this time to Best Buy, getting a little classier. I bought a laptop, random stuff, and I also bought gifts for one of the girls that worked at the tanning salon next to the building I was living above. Hammered, I presented the gifts. A couple minutes later, I got a call from the owner of said tanning salon saying I was making his employees uncomfortable. Yeah, and I was now banned. I didn't pay off the DUI fines. I didn't pay off my student debt. I didn't pay off any other bills. I had paid for my apartment 6 months in advance, so I would just party every day. One night, I went to watch football at the local bar, and it was the first game of the season, 2012. I'll never forget it. my good friend that I had played college football with, Alfred Morris, went from a 6th-round pick to starting for the Washington football team. And I announced to the entire bar, if Alfred Morris scores a touchdown in his debut game, I will buy everyone in here a round. And that son of a bitch did. I remember getting the check, $987. It was $987. But at the time, I remember thinking, that's it? After 28 days, I checked my bank account, and I was negative $157.